You know, sometimes one monitor just isn't enough. Maybe you're a creative or you're a photo editor, a video editor, or a programmer, and you just want more than one screen on your laptop. But when you travel, that can be a little difficult. You might have the ideal workstation in your home, but as soon as you leave that area, you're limited to one small little laptop. But this seems to be kind of the ultimate solution for someone who's looking to have 2 or 3 screens when they're on the go. And I want to tell you about what I think is a pretty cool product. So before I continue on, I must say this product was sent to me from the company directly to review, but as all my reviews are, I specifically wrote them back and said, if the product sucks, I'm not talking about it, and I only bring products to my YouTube channel if I feel like they're potentially useful. And no money whatsoever was exchanged, and I don't let them see this video before it goes out. So I have to say that honestly because that's important to me when I'm watching someone talk about a product. As a video editor or someone that's working on multiple things at once on a computer, I do find it useful from time to time to have more than one monitor. And I was really impressed when I saw this product specifically because it gives you the triple wide that you want for being able to have a lot of things open at once and a lot of screen real estate. But yet it's the first thing I found, at least that I saw, that is actually USB-C powered from the computer itself. Obviously, you can buy tons of different monitors and have as many monitors as you want in your room and have them all hooked up to power and just connect cables and be good to go. But this is pretty neat because from a travel perspective, you could essentially use this anywhere without any additional power being needed whatsoever. So I'm using a 16-inch MacBook Pro here, and I'm running on battery power, and I just have these both plugged in, one USB-C to each. It obviously kills your battery faster than your battery dies by itself, but it actually stays a decent amount of time just on battery power alone, which is pretty neat. You could literally just get to a coffee shop or get to a mobile place that you want to work, take it out, plug your cables in, and you're ready to work, no problem whatsoever. They only take 2 seconds to start up, so there's no power on, power off button. You just connect them, they talk to each other, and they're ready to roll. Pretty nice. It's also pretty cool the fact that it really hooks up to your computer really simply. These are just little brackets that essentially are sitting on the monitor, and then you see there's a little like kickstand in the back there that kind of just keeps it stable so it's not putting all the weight on the back of your screen. You don't even have to put that up depending on the angle that you're using this on. It doesn't really tilt and fold itself back. This is actually a really light setup, so even though it kind of looks cumbersome on the computer, it's actually really small and easy, and you simply just slide it off here like this and you pop it right off and you can put it away. Comes with like a little mobile carrying case too, which is pretty neat. If you see from this side here, what's really neat about it is it really kind of engulfs you in the whole setup. So these obviously fold in as much or as little as you want, and you can obviously fold the computer back as much as you want and kind of set it up however you desire. And then you just have a nice little triple wide screen here, and you can put anything you want on the screens. And it's hard to kind of tell on camera, but realistically, it's got decent color compared to the computer itself. Obviously, the MacBook Pros have incredible color and great looking screens as it is. So the thing I was worried about is how well would they match. Obviously, I did a little setting stuff to try to get as close as possible, and it's not perfect. I wouldn't recommend that you use this as a color reference when you're actually video editing or photo editing, but it's really good to have additional things here like tools or browser stuff for Final Cut or Premiere, whatever you use, or just email and different things up. And you can see that if I basically bring up all my windows like I typically have them set up, this is maybe Final Cut, right? As an example, I have obviously the browser over here. I have my main window that I can do all my editing on here. Then I have Spotify over here, maybe if I'm working on a video, listening to some music. Obviously, that is self-explanatory. That's just a typical triple wide setup. You basically can determine what's on the screens. That's not something new. What is unique about this, in my opinion, is just the fact that it is very portable and it's powered by the computer. Now, what I also think is kind of unique is the fact that you don't have to use it in this configuration. If you decided that a dual monitor setup was actually more ideal for you, you can literally just kind of fold this right back. And then just like that, you have a dual monitor setup, which might be more ideal for you if you don't have necessarily the real estate in your office or something on that side of your computer, whatever it is. But you kind of can just decide how you want the configuration to be. Now, obviously, I assume that most people buying this will use it as a triple wide because of the fact that that's kind of the uniqueness of it. And it probably keeps it even more balanced that way because it has equal weight on both sides. I will say I wish they included shorter USB-Cs with the actual monitor, because if if they're right in their assumption that most people would use this on top of their computer like this and the monitors are right next to it, you're looking at a total of about that long between this spot and there, and it would be nice if they just had shorter USB-Cs that just went right in, because I don't really know why they have to be long and bulky. Obviously, you can get shorter USB-Cs. When you're all done using them, here's what I think is actually the best part about them is, like I said, they are so portable. So it's as simple as unplugging your cables, taking it off of your computer, you slide them together. This front one folds forward, the back one folds backwards, the kickstand folds in, and they've included a case, just like a laptop case. You put it right in there. I throw my cables in there, and I'm good to go. So this, if you can tell, is not really much bigger than a typical laptop case would be. So what's great is you could easily throw this in a backpack as well, or bring this, with you, or maybe keep it in your car or something if you want to use it here and there. But it's not like it's this big bulky thing with this additional stand you have to buy in ways like I'm not going to bring, a typical monitor with me places. But this is nice being able to have, because if you are someone like me who travels occasionally, and when I'm maybe in a hotel or I'm working for an extended period of time, maybe I want a little bit more screen real estate, this is by far the most portable setup I've ever seen that still does the job really well of having multiple monitors. What's also nice is that included with the whole package, you get your 2 USB-C to USB-C cables, you get 2 USB to USB-A cables, and you get 2 mini HDMI to HDMI cables. So they give you all the cables you need to connect to a Mac or a PC. In my case, I'm using a Mac, and since it's all USB-C, it's super seamless. You hook it up, no sort of drivers needed. You literally, I took it out of the box, plugged it in, and it was ready to work, which is awesome. But they give you all the cables here that you can use it for really any device. Obviously, like I said, it's much better used for just extra screen real estate. I wouldn't rely on the color and the actual quality as much as you would on obviously your main computer. The MacBook Pro screens are so good that it's hard to compare to them, but I was pleasantly surprised that it actually looks really good for the fact that it is so portable. And when you feel how light it is, I kind of felt it at first and thought it might be kind of cheap and the color would look terrible, but once I made a few adjustments, it was pretty easy to do. But this is it, the whole thing. A triple wide monitor setup that small that you can really just have your computer and a 3-screen setup just like this. Bring it in your backpack. Now, I wouldn't recommend that you're that guy that is always at the local coffee shop taking up a massive table with 3 screens and 16 mice and all these different things around you. You might look a little ridiculous, but maybe you just have a conference room that you're presenting at or working with other colleagues at, and you want to be able to show multiple things at one time. Realistically, you could actually flip those screens and face them to someone else in a conference room, for example, and let them see what you're seeing on the screen. You could mirror it instead. Decent idea. I just thought about that right now, but actually would work really well. You can face them to different directions. So it's a nice little setup, I gotta say. As always, I wouldn't bring this to you if I didn't think the product was actually worth the cost. As I said earlier, I've not paid for this review at all, but anytime I come across products that I think are useful for people like me who do video, or entrepreneurs who like having lots of stuff going on at one time, I definitely want to bring it to you. So thanks for watching. If you have any questions on it, feel free to comment below and I'll try to answer them. Obviously, I'm not tech support for the company, but there is a link down below you can use, and you can also use code McKenna50 for $50 off the order right now. So go ahead and do it if you think this is useful, and thanks for watching as always. Talk to you guys real soon.